Most ambitious women are told to dial it down, to choose between power or softness, or to simply hire their desire for more. But in Tantra, your ambition isn't something to suppress. It's actually the spark of your feminine power, waiting to be awakened and channeled for your highest success and confidence. If you're an ambitious woman who's ever felt torn between drive and desire for spiritual alignment, then this video is definitely for you. My name is Silvana Kamala. I am a modern Tantra teacher, PhD candidate on ancestral healing, and the founder of the Venusian Academy. I help women transform their wounds into power with my proprietary method, Venusian Tantra. In this video, you're going to learn how to reclaim ambition as a sacred feminine force and not a flaw, how to use your emotions, especially the messy ones, as fuel for your success, how to dissolve the ego trap and step into authentic and collective power, and how to activate the exact archetype in order to balance your ambition and your confidence. By the end of this video, you'll understand how to use Tantra in order to unlock new levels of success without sacrificing your feminine energy or your spiritual path. Let's start off with a different concept. Your ambition is not yours. In Tantra, every desire in your heart is seen as Shakti's desire, as the goddess's desire flowing through you. Think of your ambition as the longing of your ancestors, the voice of the collective woman seeking to be expressed in the world. I know that in the business world, ambition is often painted in a really negative light, especially for women. It's as if it's somehow unfeminine or spiritually corrupted. But here's the thing, denying your ambition only creates inner conflict and burnout. Instead, what if you could see your drive for material success, monetary gain, and influential success as actually holy, or as a channel for something greater? I used to struggle with this myself. I always felt like my ambition made me too much for the spiritual spaces that I loved, but too out there, woo-woo and mystical for the actual business world. This is what I decided to launch my creative business as a way of merging both my spiritual longing and also my inner drive and ambition. Once I realized that my desire for impact was actually a sacred current, especially coming from my ancestral line, everything shifted. I stopped apologizing for wanting more and began to embody ambition as a spiritual practice. And this is what Tantra is about. Tantra is about witnessing what is with neutrality. It's the marriage between our awareness and everything that we are. So instead of demonizing or trying to overcome, overpower, change, reject this natural desire that is within us, Tantra teaches us to accept it as an expression of divinity itself. So a really quick practice, a very simple practice to explore this at a deeper level is to write down what is your deepest desire and like the highest ambition that you have in your life. Once you do this, notice how it feels in your body to just voice out the desire and then ask yourself the question, what if this desire is not mine, but is the divine's desire through me, and I am simply the observer of the desire unfolding? This will help you create a little bit more space between your desire and then yourself. And it will also allow you to start seeing your own ambition as an inheritance and not as a burden. Now, here's where Tantra gets very practical. Every single emotion that you experience and feel, even the negative ones, can be used for fuel for your ambition. Instead of labeling emotions as good or bad, Tantra teaches us to simply feel them, let them flow, and inform our actions. For example, if you feel frustration, insecurity, or even envy, don't suppress it. Instead, ask yourself, how can this emotion serve the part of me that is manifesting this desire? I had a client a few years ago that had an extremely high pressure job because of the responsibilities she had. It was beyond financial responsibility. It was a very deep responsibility. And she struggled with anxiety. So imagine having all of this pressure and then having all of this anxiety, but being so driven and so ambitious to actually want to perform so well in this career that the anxiety kind of becomes this curse or like obstacle in her success. So whenever we go through this process of stop the judgment of whatever emotions are present, and by the way, like the word anxiety, right, it's just the overwhelming combination of feelings, but it's just a lot of emotions hiding in a full panic state. And instead of seeing this as a bad thing, whenever you find that neutrality through tantric process and you're able to simply witness the emotion, the anxiety stopped becoming this negative thing and it started becoming a signpost, a message of like, slow down, come back to the body, be present and pay attention. What she realized was that every time this anxiety came up, and instead of like judging it and reacting to it in a negative way, she took it as a sign of like, oh, it's time for me to slow down and become present and return to my body. She realized that there were some things that she had missed before. Not mistakes, but just certain things that were not a big deal, but could have become a big deal. So whenever we repair the relationship between our emotions and how we perceive our emotions, and we're able to neutralize them by simply witnessing them, they become allies. And all of that raw emotion that was the ball of anxiety that she was feeling became fuel for her, became power to continue carving her path forward. So try it yourself. Next time that you are feeling overwhelmed by a negative emotion, instead of immediately labeling it as a bad thing that I need to get rid of, create some space of curiosity and ask yourself, what is this emotion trying to communicate to me? And become present with it. Feel it. Breathe into it. Whenever you bring presence, that's the alchemical process. It's that simple. It's that easy. I know it sounds like it's too easy to be true, but it is the power of bringing our presence into emotions. And when we do that, this emotion becomes power available for us. And this is how you can very easily and in a practical way bring a tantric process into your emotional world and your emotional reactions. Now, one of the things that also comes on top of all of the emotion is the so-called ego trap. Because whenever we think of ambition and we think of drive and we think of these more masculine-oriented concepts, naturally we step into the conversation of the ego. If patriarchal power systems are about pyramids and being on the top, feminine power systems are circular in nature. In a circle, no side of the circle is better than the other. It's simply a culmination and a connection of different energies, unified. We don't know which one was first. We don't know which one's last. It's simply a system where the energy is flowing effortlessly. The pyramid is like this. It extracts from the bottom in order to concentrate up. And this is the shape of that patriarchal system that we live in. And whenever we think of feminine leadership under that model, we have the archetypal queen bee, the one that is on top of everyone else below her. And that's not what this is about here. The beautiful thing about the feminine shape of the circle is that you are only a part of this sacred circle. And the circle is a spiritual engine for the greater good. So whenever you can step outside of the story of me, and just let the desire flow, let the ambition flow and guide you where it wants to go, and you allow it to serve the greater good by honoring that desire within yourself, you're going to be contributing to a very wise and mysterious system that is the feminine engine of power. Now here's where it gets juicy. So in Venusian Tantra, which is the proprietary method I created, which is a combination of Chakra Tantra, evolutionary astrology, Jungian psychology, and shamanism, we have the power archetypes. These are living energies such as the Empress, the Queen, the Warrior, the Witch, and much more. And each of these archetypes brings a unique feminine flavor of power, of confidence, and of success. For example, the Empress archetype is all about abundance and pleasure and magnetism, connection. It's the sweetness of just effortlessly attracting opportunities. The warrior sets boundaries, takes action, it drives. It's the part of us that has an inner stillness that doesn't move. That's why it can be a warrior, because the warrior is in reality a protector. And the queen stands for sovereignty, for wisdom, for authentic leadership. Authentic leadership is not easily recognized. Authentic leadership oftentimes goes against the grain of what is accepted in society. And you don't have to just be one archetype. The magic is that in Venusian Tantra, we learn how to weave all of them together because they all live within us. But there are some archetypes that are stronger than others, and these are energetic spaces, mental constructs that help us process all of the energy that we are moving through whenever we go through this emotional alchemization process of transforming our emotions into power for the service of humanity, for our mission, for what we want to create in our lives. So if you want to boost your confidence and success by using Tantra, just remember to first see your ambition as something that is sacred and ancestral. It is actually a force of liberation and not limitation. Remember that every single emotion that you feel is fuel for your own success. And that true feminine leadership is not about pyramids, it's about circles. And the secret to sustainable confidence is learning how to activate the appropriate archetype at the appropriate time. Whenever you integrate these tantric principles, you don't have to choose between success and spirituality. You can take the middle path and become a high voltage woman, radiant, magnetic, and unapologetically powerful. So if you're ready to dive deeper into this work, I have a free resource for you, the Discover Your Power Archetype ebook. You can find it in the description box below. And this is going to guide you through the process to find your own power archetype and information about all the 10 power archetypes. Remember that all of them live within you, but there are some that are more active than others. But it is important when we go through this work to really connect with all of them because there's wisdom in every single one of them. I would love to hear what resonated for you the most in this video. How do you feel your success and your spiritual life are coming together or have been separated in the past? And what promise do you make yourself or commitment do you make to yourself in order to integrate these two parts of yourself? And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe if you want to learn more about Tantra, feminine empowerment, and some mysticism, practical mysticism for women that are driven, empowered, and want to live high-powered lives. That's all from me today. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you next time.